Alright, guys, it is Alex here, your local dev and software expert. Welcome back to my channel, and in this one, we'll be talking about how do you build your product. If you are a startup, or if you're doing your existing business and you building out a new product, a new unit of your business, and it includes like an app or a website, or anything having to do with tech. Stay tuned, and we'll kind of talk about that. But yeah, I mean, like, if you're in this position, right? Like, if you are a new startup, you just got funding, or you're thinking about doing a startup, or you have an idea, right? Or let's say you already have a new business unit, and but your business wasn't necessarily a tech business, like a typical tech business, or you're not a tech person, right? Like, how do you go about, like, you know like bringing in the right people to get this done for you? How do you do it yourself, right? It typically starts, like, you have your idea. You have your idea about your product you want to build, whether it's like a SaaS, or just some extension to something you're already doing, or a brand new product. I know there are a lot of AI people out there, right? In general, we'll kind of be talking about, like, how you go about getting that built. If it's something you can do, if the ways you can go about doing it, if it's something you can cover for yourself, or if you want to get some existing talent to build up for you, or if you want to maybe go somewhere in the middle, where, like, it's a little bit you, a little bit talent, or it's just some of the more cost effective freelancers or something like that that you can find, right? So as you can see here, I have the whiteboard of truth telling open, and we'll be going over some sketchy, going about these different ways that we're kind of talking about. So let's talk about um, the two prime. Let's talk about let's differentiate two primary ways right now. As you guys, as you can see here, I have talent on the board, so I'm gonna be talking a lot about how do you get software people, software minded people, engineers or stuff like that, to work on it for you. But also, I want to cover a little piece of how do you possibly go about doing that yourself, right? I'm gonna quickly cover that, right? But I'm gonna quickly cover that, just in case, that's a part we're talking about. So, but let's write this on our whiteboard here, right? So let's put how do we draw? Okay, well, hold on. We're gonna be doing, um, for engineers, we're gonna be doing the Einstein here. Okay, okay, this is more like Goku. Maybe he has a laptop or something. Okay, perfect, perfect. I'm glad we're not. It's not my drawing skills here that are, on the. But this is, our tech people with the Einstein here, right? So myself will be, included in this bucket, me and my team. So if you want some Einstein here, people, email down below, reach out to me, and my team will get some stuff done for you. But in the normal one here, we kind of have yourself. Let's draw a normal, boy or girl now, to, with beautiful hair. I don't. Yeah, okay. What are we doing? What is this here? Okay, all right. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I can't do you like that. Like, okay, let's just. This is you, right? You're like normal-ish, right? Okay, this is you. Never mind the fact that you don't have a spine, right? And you're just trying. You're I don't know. Let's put a hat here. Listen, any drawings that we're going to do. This is okay. I don't know what that is. All right. Listen, the drawings don't matter, okay? But so on one row, this is row. I should have done this in reverse order, but this is row one. This is row two. Let's just say, right? One is you do it yourself, right? So yourself. The other one is you get uh engineers, right? So contractors, people that you hire yourself, right? On it, right? And this uh, it's not my. Can we, okay. All right. Let's. Not sure, we'll figure out how to move soon. But Yeah, and this is row one, and this is row two, right? So row stretch little triangles here, little arrows here, right? So let's pursue this first row here, because if, and this is relevant information, all right? Like, how do you know which road to go down? All right, and this is the rule of thumb. If this is something, well, let me say it like this. If this is something that you can imagine, wait, let me think very careful here about what I want to say, because I don't want you guys. I know not everybody's not like on the same like level necessarily expert technically, and all right, perfect. If this is something that doesn't include any dynamic content or any user management, or possibly like any databases or like external resources, then you can conceivably do it yourself, right? Because then it doesn't have like a lot of engineering manpower and stuff like that that's needed. This isn't the bulk. This isn't necessarily like the bulk of. Also, if you just need, for example, like a simple like landing page where you're not doing anything fun, where you're not doing anything fancy, maybe you're just putting information about like your company, then you can do this kind of yourself, right? And like, what are some tools that you can use to do that by yourself? You can use things like Squarespace. You can use things like Squarespace, which is a kind of site builder. GoDaddy also has one of these, right? And you can use you can use these tools here, right? And you can create your own little page, and it has a nice UI. You can log in and put a button here and a thing there, right? And so does GoDaddy. All right, so that's one way if you want to do it yourself. And the typical rule of thumb is, for me anyways, is if it doesn't get more complicated than just information you're writing down on a page, then you can take a go for it yourself. Obviously, you can still do that with or Einstein's here, but yeah, I mean, and maybe you get a better price depending on how you see it. Like, let's say for okay, so that's in um that's in uh, uh, row one. If it's simple, right? Simple meaning static, right? Meaning it doesn't change, right? What is this S, bro? Like, okay, simple meaning static, meaning it doesn't change. All right, the condition where we want to do it ourselves, right? Now you can, there are tools out there where if it does include some amount of dynamic content, like users and stuff, like there are stuff that you can try, like like Bubble. There are tools like Bubble.io and stuff like this. I think Webflow is another one where you can try to create it by yourself. But to be honest, like, you can give it a go. Like, let's say it's something maybe really simple, like maybe just like one login, that's maybe kind of showing, some really basic user information right there. Like, you can give it a go. But and this is my warning, even if you are a static page, like, no matter what, pretty much in this instant, right? Like, if you know you're not like a tech, if you know you're like not a you're a non-techie, meaning what is how do you know if you're a techie or a non-techie, right? Or if being stuck finding how do you know, like a button in, like Microsoft Word, or something like this, causes you infinite amount of frustration, right? Then you're probably like a non-techie, and you should probably just not do it, right? And you should get the regardless of how simple it is, you should probably just not do it. You should probably just get an engineer, because you're gonna save yourself time. And if you see that you're a business owner or executive, right, you're therefore gonna save yourself money, right? You're gonna save yourself time and money. All right, so that's the first way if you're a non-techie. Now let's because I want to it'd be lovely if I can move this here, but all right, let me just go down to redraw our Einstein. It wasn't that complicated here. All right, but let's say you know let's say 110%, right? Like, your app is super complicated, or you want to build out your very own dev team, right? So the that's the engineering road, right? Like, you know, you're gonna like need people, you know, with expertise, who knows how to who know how to write code, who knows how to, you know, build websites, stuff like that. I'm getting back this Einstein here, you know, here. You know, people who know, people who have, you know, like we in we got to draw our laptop here. Um, you know, like, right, right. I was on trying to draw a smile there, but the straight face is probably pretty accurate for the character type, right? I know I'm smiling, but believe me, when I'm writing the code, I'm not, right? So, okay. And one hand, again, also probably accurate, but let's give it two. All right. So, let's say you know for sure, right? Like, you're gonna want like engineers, right? Like, you know your thing is more complicated. You know, you're gonna need users and login and authentication and this service and that service. You know, again, for my AI people, you probably fall very heavily to this camp if you're a startup. But even if you're not, right, and you're just building something like a basic, you know, checkout page, or you just don't want to deal with it, right? Like, there are lots of reasons to get takes. Like, how do you go about doing that now? If you are a startup founder, if you are an existing business owner, if you are a new project manager, something, whatever, like that. Like, what are some ways you can go about getting this done, given that you know, you have no, you don't know where you're starting from, like, you know nothing, right? Like, you just know that you want this thing built, and you know, like, you have no idea, like, how the heck to do that. All right, so there are lots of videos on the channel for you, probably. So go check those out. But I'm gonna like kind of go into depth here about the different ways, right? So I'm gonna like teach you how to go from like just having your idea, right, to having your idea implemented. I'm gonna teach you the various different ways, um, you know, that you can do that. All right, like, because really what you're gonna want a techie, right? A techie is your friend here, you know, someone like me, or myself. Okay, I was trying to do Spanish, but I have no idea how Spanish. Okay, I know C++ and JavaScript, not Spanish. All right, you know, but all right, so yeah, so back the techie in this case is your friend, because that's how you're going to get it done. And there are a couple ways that you can go about like getting engineers to help you, right? Whether it's to build something simpler or more complex. And I'm going to be going over the different ways now. So the first way that this usually can happen is you can have I'm trying to let me you can have a friend, right? And this is a pretty common way that it happens. Actually, you have someone that's your friend, or someone in your social circle that has some more closer idea about like how they get this stuff done, who's maybe a coder, who's maybe done it before and stuff like that. You can talk to them, and they can help you, right? Now, if you have no friends, email down below. You can reach out to me. I'll be your friend. If you're one of those that has no friends, and and you know, like okay, you're that type, okay, like me. Don't worry, you're not alone. We are the same. Okay, we can be friends. All right. But let's say you have no friends and you still want to get this done. All right. No, um some ways that you can get engineers to get engineers to work for you. And so there are two. Let me I actually cover this also. There are like two models that you're gonna be you know going like eliciting on this way. You can have it being by project or milestone project, meaning you have one budget. You have one budget. Um, you have you have one budget for your thing, okay? And you want it done for this, so it's fixed. You know, it's fixed. All right. Fixed, right? So you have your budget. Let's say it's, I don't know, $3,000. It's fixed, and you want it done, right? I'm covering this because it will come up later, right? And there's the other way, which is hourly, right? In this way, you'll be um, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of each, and it's something like um, I don't know, let's say $30 an hour, right? 30 an hour, right? Let's say you can do your thing in well, chances are you wouldn't know, but you have somebody tell you, like you can probably do this in like 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours, whatever it is. You can pay like hourly, right? And there are differences about this. And to cover it real quick, the difference is like, and I've seen you, and you can absolutely pick the wrong one, so don't get it twisted, right? Like, if you uh, the, the rule of thumb is this: like, if this is something that's like is very custom and it's like not very common, like it's not been done, like it's not a basic just um log in with a payment functionality or like booking feature with a functionality or like a um uh, what's something like a simple like e-commerce store or something like this, right? Then you fall into, once it has very many custom elements, like you're talking about things like AWS or AI people, you also fit in this camp. Then then you should be in this camp, right? And I've seen people mess this up a lot, because what will happen is that um, they want to they want to go this route, even though they have a lot of custom elements. And what will happen is that the project ends up um, going over budget. And there are lots of freelancers, influencer engineers, people, because sometimes there are a lot of people, like from India and stuff like this, who end up doing these things. Or not even not India, but like in general, like, more poor third world countries, and they'll see a budget, you under budget by a lot, you put 300 or something like that, and they'll be afraid to tell you that, hey, this is not enough. Then what happens is that the project can't be done in time because they encounter these issues, right? And they're then not incentivized to do it, because it's not worth it for them to like keep working on it anymore. It's taking too long. They don't have money to buy food, and then you just feel like you wasted money, because now you have something that's not done, and it got nowhere. And by the way, a tip to manage that there is to use milestones, right? Use milestones at the very least, so that you can have some project if you need to switch. That's a big tip. All right, and you have to make sure this is properly set. But again, even in that that camp here, like you I was trying to like, all right, this is just shining. The state, let's say the state is just shining, right? But if you don't know anything about tech, then that's not very helpful for you. You have something, with that's half done, you don't know nothing. It's still not super helpful, right? So in general, try to keep the rule of thumb is, if it is something that's been done a lot, right? Like like it's something that's pretty generic in nature, like just like a store without too many custom elements, or like maybe custom products but not necessarily custom elements. And maybe just a little something with a contact page, or something that kind of just saves user information or something like that, right? Then like you want to go you want to go the custom orally engineer, hiring them on the orally. If it's more basic, something that's been done 10,000 times, right? Not very custom, then you can go with fixed. All right, so that's kind of what you choose. And if you choose wrong, right, it can absolutely have horrendous effects, like on the outcome of your project. So it's just something to keep in mind. All right, so but back to our ways that you can get this done, right? So I want to show you guys some more ways, right? So the first option is friend. And like this is the case where, again, like you maybe know somebody that knows somebody, or something like this. But suppose you don't have any friends, or there's some other ways. um yeah, so another ways you can hire engineers is something like Upwork, right? As you can see here, let me quickly go here. As you can see here, we have Upwork. And Upwork is just a place where you can go. You can post, you know, um, projects of all sorts. Like you can see here, there's this person that wants something done in PHP, right? And they can say, all right, they want to pay $50 hourly. You can set how much 1565. You can set what you're willing to pay for it. And um, freelancers will come there and then apply. As you see here, I can click apply, right? And kind of apply for your project, and you can ask them questions and stuff like that. And then at the end of it all, you can pick whoever you want for it. So that's Upwork. And that's a pretty decent option. But that's a pretty decent option. I'm gonna put freelancing sites. All right, Upwork slash TopTal. I'm gonna show you TopTal. Uh, should I put this in the same bucket? Uh, let's leave that for now. All right. So that's option two, and that's a pretty decent option if you are if you just want to hire somebody, you can tell them what you want, and there are good controls here. You can say how much you want to pay, and that's a decent option. But it does include a little bit of know-how in the sense that you need to know how to communicate, like what it is you want, and like maybe have a small conversation about like maybe uh, maybe what tech you want to use or something like that. It varies. Like you don't have to know so much. You can just get in contact and somebody tell them what you want, and if you're good, they'll be able to get it done, right? But that's one option, right? And in fact, me and my agency, we use Upwork a lot to actually get additional people when we want, to extend when we're really busy, and we want. But like I said, hiring there can be a little bit of a nightmare, as well as there are fees. So that is like a huge downside. So if you want to dodge all those fees, if you want to maybe a more easy interface, because so how do you pick, right? Which is something else you kind of have to know. Maybe so maybe you need help there. You can get in contact with me down below, and we can take care of whatever thing you have going on for you. But for now, back to this ways. Another side that I know of. I'm not gonna show you top. I was gonna say TopTal. TopTal is actually a site where you can hire freelancers as well, just like Upwork, right? You can come here. You can come here and like kind of post yourself, but it doesn't have the It's pretty much the same. Let me see. It's pretty much the same, except probably more expensive. It's kind of just the budget. So here on Upwork, you can get stuff for like 20 an hour, 15 an hour, stuff like that, right? More obviously, some people are gonna charge more, 50 an hour, blah blah blah. On top of that, you're looking at maybe like a minimum of 50 an hour, and stuff like that. And pretty much, they'll probably only also do like hourly, because you're working with custom engineers there, right? So that's another option that you can use. Not totally recommend, but another option that you guys have, and I'm gonna contrast these two options here, is maybe like Fiverr, right? Like you guys have for sure, and I'm gonna throw in another option as well, that you guys have for sure heard about Fiverr. Fiverr, you can come and if you want, like something, like I don't know, WordPress or something like this, then like you can come and you can see posts here by people, right? And you can click and say, I wanna hire this guy to do it, and that's an option that you have, right? That's another way. Let me write this on the whiteboard real quick. Fiverr. Pretty sure I didn't spell that right. That's another
Playing
option.
from desktop.
Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on, let me second. Let me um get some me inventory real quick. All right, so Fiverr. All right, so uh, where about that guy is here? All right, so Fiverr. So that's also an option. Fiverr, I think, goes more in the bucket of obviously there are somewhere where you can also go that post your project and something. Fiverr, again, I'd also put in the bucket of if you are um doing something simple, and I think simple is the key there for Fiverr. So while it might be cheaper, right? I do think if your project is any much more complicated than um yeah, to be honest, I have a hard time really recommending Fiverr, because I just know how shitty it can be. But like it's, let's say you want that same page that we talked about, where it's just basic information that you could build for yourself, right? That's maybe like where I go to Fiverr, because it's not a very project focused website there. It's pretty transactional. It's not, you're not necessarily gonna find the most technical people there, right? People with maybe just are basic, kind of know how to you know you know build something that maybe a little bit more techy, but are not hardcore engineers, right? So if you are a startup then, and you are looking to build your team, then I'd also say Fiverr is like very 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 out, right? But if you're just a really small business, just want an extra page, Fiverr is fine, right? So the default here is kind of Upwork right now. All right, so Another option that I'm going to be throwing in for you guys, that I don't see people talking about a lot, that you can actually meet people, is actually Facebook groups, right? No, this isn't um, this. I'm gonna warn here and say, in this group, in this method here, you're gonna be finding like a lot of people from third world countries and stuff like that. But if you go to stuff like Boba, no, maybe not this one, but like maybe like any almost any Shopify group, right? And you say you kind of just want a Shopify, right, store, like there would pretty much be, like 10 guys, like underneath you, ready to build you a Shopify store for like, I don't know, like $50 or something. And this can be a reasonable option, but I would warn here that like there is be prepared to possibly get scammed, right? So but it can work. So but I'd only go about it if it wasn't such a serious project. If you really just wanted to meet somebody, maybe get something out the door first time, you don't mind, support headaches, you don't mind um you know possibly not having the best customer service experience. So really and truly, guys, in the world currently as I see it, obviously you can post. You can also, if you are a more like established company, if you are a more a big company with like huge budgets and stuff like that, post post a job on Indeed. Now Indeed is much more of a long-term hiring. I see Indeed as much more of like a long-term hiring solution. So I wouldn't, if you are doing it like this, then you're probably looking to bring on a salaried employee that you have a contract with. I think for tech people, if you know that, I think Upwork can also be a solid solution towards that. And I think possibly better if you are looking, if you are a business owner and you are the one making the call, and it doesn't need like a contract or anything like that. Or if it does require a contract, it's something that you can explain and without maybe possibly also if you're open to hiring outside like the US or something like that. Indeed, it's more for like if you're trying to find somebody local to come into your office or something like that, which for a lot of tech that's not strictly speaking like necessary, right? So but the basic model, right? So right now Upwork is kind of the best of the worst, as we would kind of have it, as you will, and then from there you would meet your techie, and then from there you would get your product or app built. Okay. Like what am I like drawing here? What is, let's, okay, home button. It's a home button, obviously. This is your menu, obviously. Okay, and this is your graphics. Okay. Your app. All right. But yeah, that's it, guys. Those are like a few of the ways you can go about getting your app built if you just have the idea. You don't really know much about tech, and you want to get something done. These are just a couple of the typical ways I see people go down. If you do want more help with this stuff, if you do think you would use some advice on like, oh, maybe you want some advice on what requirements to use or like what you should write, my email down below. Me and my team, we do take care of this stuff and we can help you out. Reach out to me, send me an email, we'll help you. But until the next video, guys, I'm Alex here, signing off. Ready to help you with your product startup or idea.